there. Have you ever taken like 50 selfies and maybe loved one of them? Well, today I'm going to help you get the perfect cell phone selfie with do's and don'ts of how to take a selfie with your cell phone. Hi, I'm Vanessa and I talk about self-portraits quite a lot. And the perfect way to get started in self-portraits is with your cell phone. Most people have a pretty up-to-date cell phone. They're readily accessible. Not everybody has the whole camera set up, and maybe they don't even want to get the whole camera set up. They just want to know how to take a decent selfie with a cell phone.
There's lots of benefits to using a cell phone to take your self-portraits. One of them being is they are so simple and easy and intuitive to use. Basically, anybody that has picked up a cell phone and pulled up the camera has been able to figure it out within like 5 minutes. And opposed to using a camera, which is significantly larger, a cell phone is all in one, small, compact, and has the ability to focus on you, and you can usually use a voice prompt or even put your hand up. Lots of cell phones come with built-in selfie mode, so you can see yourself on the screen. They also have timers, usually from 0 to 10 seconds. It's completely set up for selfies, and it's super simple to use. So if you've never taken a self-portrait before and you want to start getting a little bit more advanced than just holding your cell phone up and hitting photo, this is the easiest way to do it.
Now there's a lot to go over, so let's jump right in. And the first thing that I want to talk about is cleaning your camera lens. I don't know about you, but I tend to have my hands all over my phone. And you don't want all those little finger smudgy prints on here. So grab yourself one of those little microfiber cloths or even those wipes that you can get for electronics, and make sure that you clean your camera screen. You might not initially notice the difference, but it will be there. So have a nice clean screen, and that's the first place you want to start. Now, another thing that I want to talk about that I see happen all the time is people not paying attention to their background or where they are. So for example, if you're taking a selfie and you look totally bomb, but you've got a laundry basket behind you, nobody's going to be looking at you. Their eyes are going to go straight to that laundry basket, and you've basically wasted your time with your selfie. So make sure that you're paying attention to your surroundings. Talking about turning the filters on your phone, I don't actually recommend doing that. I don't mind the background blurs ones as much, but when it comes to like the face tuning or the skin smoothing or that kind of thing, I think that it's a whole lot better if you just take the image as is, and then any adjustments that you want to make, you do in like some kind of post-processing, either with Photoshop or some other kind of app. The reason for this is that I find it's not a very natural look. The phones tend to just kind of go overboard. And not only that, if you do get a photo where you look totally great, but you happen to be like with your child or with, you know, a boyfriend or something, the filter might not look so good on them. So for example, if I was taking a picture with a baby, and I don't know how many times I've seen this, and somebody has applied the like default skin smoothing, maybe the mom looks really good, but the baby will look like a plastic doll because babies are already really smooth. And when you apply skin smoothing to them, they start to look fake. So you don't really want your baby to look fake, and you want you to look good. I would suggest not doing some kind of default auto filter, but actually taking the time to edit that in post-production so that you look good and your baby look good. I find that also people do this with their husbands or boyfriends that maybe have some facial hair, and the default skin smoothing tends to blur facial hair. So the person with facial hair will end up having like this kind of weird blurry mess on their face, and it's not appealing. So avoid the default in-camera filters for skin smoothing and like face tuning and all that stuff. As an example, I do have 2 photos, one taken with all my filters turned on to the max and one taken without, so that you can see that with the stuff turned on, I actually don't look all that human anymore. I kind of look like an alien, so I would definitely recommend avoiding that. Cell phones nowadays are actually really great at dealing with any lighting condition. I'm filming this on a cell phone in a room with just some light bulbs, and it's actually turning out pretty good. I didn't even pull out my ring light for this. But if you can get better lighting, you absolutely should. You'd want to avoid any weird harsh shadows or strange white balance. I definitely recommend using window lighting whenever you can. And just even setting your cell phone on the windowsill is perfect as like a tripod thing. You don't have to hang on to it at all. You can find a place to set it when you're near a window and do it that way. Or like I mentioned, ring lights. I mean, those are available everywhere. You can buy one at Walmart for like 20 bucks, and it's usually, a tripod that can hold your phone and have the ring light all in one. It's definitely a great purchase if you're wanting to do self-portraits with a cell phone. I often film with one of those because even though most of my self-portraits are with my camera, I actually video on my YouTube on a cell phone. So today I'm not using the one with the ring light, but the majority of my videos are filmed with one of those tripod ring lights, just a cheapy thing, and they are awesome. And I do recommend using some sort of a tripod if you can, even just setting it on the windowsill or setting it somewhere else so it doesn't look like you're holding your phone like this. I would say that this is overdone. This is a don't. Don't take your selfies with your hand and your arm stretched out. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not really that hard to just set it on something or use like a really cheap tripod, like I said. So do use a tripod and don't use your arm. I would also recommend staying away from the duck face or any of those weird trendy things that happen sometimes with selfies. Just go for a normal, natural smile, please. Another don't is don't post essentially the same selfie over and over and over again. I've seen a lot of offenders do this, and they have found like one particular facial expression and one particular pose, and they take that photo. And if you look at their gallery, it's basically the same photo on different days. And it's kind of like, well, what's the point of even taking a new photo if you look exactly the same, except, you're wearing a different shirt or your hair is, like this instead of like this. You know what I mean? So the do for this is do experiment, do try out different angles, do try out different poses. If you have a tripod or something that can be held further away from you, like I recommended, you can do all kinds of different cropping and close-up photos, far away photos, the whole thing, and you can really stretch yourself so that you're having a bit of variety in all of your online uploads of selfies, and it's not just the same repetitive thing over and over and over again. Now, this is a do or a don't. I know I said earlier that if you want to make any changes to your appearance, you should edit it in post. But for cell phone selfies, I really believe you don't have to edit your images. I think that you could go either way. Feel free to edit your images after you've taken them, or don't. I think there's something to be said for a completely authentic photo as is. And I think that's one of the great things about cell phone photography is that it can kind of be that more in the moment, less processed, over the top kind of imagery and still be a decent photo. So when it comes to editing your cell phone selfies, I think that's really a personal preference. I think they both could go either way. It depends on what you want. So I really hope that this video helped you guys get some ideas on how to take a better selfie with your cell phone. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. If you're interested in more self-portrait photography related info, I've got a whole playlist about self-portraits for beginners that I'll link on the end screen for you to check out right now. See you in the next one.